Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well and I hope that you have a wonderful day. I'm here to do initiative card reading to see what messages, guidance, and insights the universe wants to share with us at this time, especially in regards to proceeding forward with things, having the clarity, not getting tripped up by ourselves and unintentionally, or maybe, intentionally self-sabotaging. Because there are a lot of things at play right now, and people have been making some interesting choices. So let's take a look at the cards and see what the universe wants us to know. Okay. So we have, whoa, oh boy, that was interesting. We have look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius. And that's my sun sign, and I feel like I've been pretty good about looking at the bigger picture, and I'm even able to point things out to people. But a lot of times we can get so wrapped up in a situation, be so close to it that we can't see it clearly. This makes me think about the dream that I had last night. And it started off with me coming across someone who used to be my friend. They were the one who did the blow up with the whole accountability partner and all that. And my best friend was telling me about how this person was talking to her and going on about all these things, and it just really feels like this person is in some kind of warped denial, delusional state, like they're not in touch with reality. And in the dream, because my best friend was telling me, like, yeah, she was not hearing that right. I'm like, I think she's very much hearing and seeing what she wants to hear and see. And this is what I was trying to warn her back when she was wanting me to be her accountability partner, and then she blew up on me. So it's just like, yeah, I don't know if you actually wanted an accountability partner, because accountability partners don't tell you what you want to hear. They are gentle and loving with you, but they tell you what that you need to hear. They're real with you, But in my dream, I had handed her my favorite necklace of labradorite, because that's my favorite stone, and labradorite is a lot with like awakening and protection and just intuition and like being able to see things clearly, not like more of like the walking by faith, not by sight, like you're able to trust the process more. And I feel like that would benefit her a lot. But then the dream segued into my brother was like demanding that he needed to print something, and my mom told me that I had to help him. And so I'm like, okay, what are you even trying to do? Like, it's pretty straightforward to print stuff. And so in the dream, he was like so sure that he knew how to print it. And the way in the dream he was going about doing it is he crumbled up the paper he wanted to use and like jammed it inside of the printer. Not like where you feed the paper in, but like in all the gears and whatnot. And I'm just like, what? What? And I'm just like flabbergasted, and just like, and I tried to get it to work after he did that. And I went back to my mom in the dream and was like, yeah, he busted your printer. I don't know what to tell you. Like, and that's the thing. We can get so sure and like be so prideful and be in our ego that we know the right way to do it. And we just can just like try to force things to happen. And then it blows up in our face, and it can be a form of self-sabotage. I don't know what in the dream he needed that for, but it kind of felt like it was related. He and my former friend, like, they are in a lot of the same energies. I've noticed that kind of patterns. And it's not that either of them are bad or horrible people or anything like that, but they keep going through the same cycles and patterns, and they don't break themselves out of it. And this brother, because I have two, he's the one where my family enables the heck out of him. And I just see him on this collision course with disaster. It's going to be like this train wreck, this dumpster fire. I'm like, I keep like being like trying to like caution them and be like, hey, we should probably do something. We shouldn't just let him stay on this course. We should say something, do something. But instead, they feed all his addictive worst habits and let him get away with all these things. And so it's just like, they don't look at the bigger picture. Like, so many times my parents, my siblings, all that, they tell me, like, in regards to that brother, it's like, no, he needs to feel like he has a home. We can't say that to him. That will hurt his feelings. That'll upset him. It's like, we need to hold him accountable and need, like, wake up call. He's an adult. Like, he's hurting himself and everyone around him. Like, literally, he'll be running into walls and he'll be trashing the place and, like, letting his massive dog run wild. And it's just, like, he gets very, very drunk. Like, alcoholism is super huge, especially on my dad's side. And my brother got that. And so it's just, like, he has issues, but they'll go out and get him alcohol and be like, here you go. I was like, look at the bigger picture. You're hurting yourself. Sure, people may use things like alcohol as a way to unwind, to be social, to have fun and all that. And I'm not saying that's inherently wrong. You know, to each their own. My mindset has always been, if you are not hurting anyone, including yourself, and you're not forcing whatever it is you're doing on other people, you do you. You do you. I've never been interested in alcohol. I've seen what my family's done with it, and it's like, no, I don't want any part of that. I don't want any part of that. But it's just like, if that's aligned with your path, by all means, you do you. We are different people. But I can see the big picture, and it's just like, hey, this, and then you get, you know, screamed at and told you're ruining things and that you're a problem and all these things. And, like, me just trying to have healthy boundaries, it just blows up, and, like, these people are self-sabotaging, and I'm trying to point it out to them. I'm trying to be helpful. I'm not trying to judge them or be nasty or mean. Like, I'll try to be gentle and loving, but it's just like, you need to have this wake-up call, and, like, you're going to reap what you sow. And if you keep doing all this destructive behavior, like in the case of my brother, like, he'll make choices. Like, my sister got him that one chip challenge once. He had been drinking alcohol all day. He decided to do the chip, and to help him cool down, he decides to follow up with more beer, and it's just like, yeah, I'm sure you can imagine how that turned up. It got very foamy, and it was coming out of orifices, and it was burning because it was super spicy chip, like, all those things. And it's like, like, why would you let people do that? Like, at the same time, I get that you have to let people choose. They're going to do what they do. But it's just like, we trip ourselves up. And, like, I know that even I have done that to myself before, like, with how loyal I am and how I want to, you know, try to reach peaceful solutions, and I want to learn, grow, and improve, and I want to work at things. I don't just want to throw things out. That's happened with me with so many of my relationships, whether friendships, you know, coworkers, bosses, you know, romantic, family. Like, I keep showing up for people and they don't reciprocate. So this is the kind of thing that the universe is wanting us to stop and get some clarity, to get crystal clear on what it is we want and what it is will be the best path to get it. Because not that we need to have all the answers, but if we're having these cycles and patterns that are tripping us up and are effectively sabotaging ourselves, because I was able to look at myself, like, especially over this past year, and, like, how I keep connecting with all these people, and these relationships, if you can call them that, are very one-sided, where I am giving and pouring into them and filling up their cup and tending to their needs and thinking about them and being considerate and kind and loving and supportive and uplifting them and all these things. And it's like, not that those things are bad, but it's not reciprocated. It's not reciprocated. Or if it is, it's just like breadcrumbs. It's like, oh, thanks, here you go. Or it's like underhanded, manipulated, kind of like, oh, I'll be nice to you, but it's so I can get something. So it's like, I need to look at the bigger picture, and it's like, okay, who am I aligning with? Who's and what are taking up my time and energy and attention? It's like, is that actually serving me? And so that's the kind of stuff that's coming in big time right now. Because, like, it's another thing with, like, my mom. She assumes a lot, and, like, she was telling me about how she had to do something, and I'm like, why don't you just ask them? And she's like, well, I think that this should happen, and I don't want them, like, because she's trying to get a gift to my cousin who's out of town, and they're coming in this Saturday, but my parents are going to visit my brother who's out of town, and so, like, it's this whole thing. And so she's like I'm like, why don't you just ask when they're leaving then and where they're staying and all these things? She's like, well, no, I think I'm just going to do this. I'm like, that's the thing with Mom. She doesn't ask. She only has questions about everything else, but she makes these assumptions and makes things so much more complicated. And it's like, we can do that to ourselves, guys. Like, we can do that to ourselves. And yeah, nothing is yet set in stone, mutable moon. So we don't have to get so fixated on one outcome. Like, that's the thing with us humans. We get our plans, we get our visions, our dreams, our aspirations, our goals, and we think it has to look a certain way. Like with the person who asked me to be an accountability partner, they are notorious for this. And I was just trying to say, like, hey, let's try to be a little more flexible, a little more adaptable, a little more open, because you seem to be very fixated on if it doesn't show up in this way, then you just might as well throw everything out and it's not worth it and it's not meant. And it's like, it's not coming together at this time, but that doesn't mean it's not meant. And like, it was self-sabotage and all that. And so we need to be open up to the flow of life, the divine guidance of the universe, because the universe knows more than we do. Like, I know with me, like, I didn't necessarily plan on, pet sitting for my aunt, but like she asked if I would, and mind you, it came through, the communication been through my mom, because she's one of the aunts who blew up on me 2 years ago and never apologized or tried to make amends, and that's a whole thing. But it's just like, her dog's old, he likes me, she had no one else, and it's just like, okay, you know what, I'm not going to interact with you at all, I'm not going to see you at all, I'm just going to be taking care of your dog, make sure he's good. Okay, I'll be open and flexible. And it was interesting last night, because he's really old, and so he decided he had to go out at 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. in the morning. And it wouldn't have been that big a deal, but it's pouring rain. And he spent half an hour each time in the pouring rain. I'm like, dog, I have an umbrella, but it's windy and it's pouring rain. And I'm getting soaked and you're getting soaked. Can we not? Like, do we have to be out here this long? And so that was a whole thing. But it's just like, nothing set in stone. So it's like, I try to make the most of what I'm given. It's like, I don't like everything. Like, I didn't necessarily like being out in the rain and getting soaked. It was rather peaceful though, and it felt nice temperature-wise because it's been so hot, and like, it just made me want to sit outside and like in a cozy little nook, protected from the rain, but just to listen to it and watch it sometime. That just sounds great. But the thing is, like, nothing's set in stone, so why not be more open? Because like, so many people in my lives are just so fixated and rigid and controlling and trying to force things, and it just blows up in their faces. And so it's just like, hey, don't, like the expression, don't put all your eggs in one basket kind of thing. Like, you don't want to do that. Like, that happened, I don't think it happened with my sister, but because my sister works the same company as my dad, a grocery chain line. And back when we were growing up, at one point, since they're part of the union, they went on strike. And so, like, there was no income coming in from my dad. And so it's just like, yeah, you can have your 9-to-5 job, but nothing's set in stone. That doesn't mean it's always going to be there. Companies can go under, all these things. They can go on strike, whatever. The pandemic was a thing. Like, so many things. So it's like, not having all your eggs in one basket, being open, trying to make the most of the opportunities given to you. Because I know with me, it wasn't ideal that I got kicked out of all my jobs, because they're trying to cut corners and save costs and all that, and they're like, oh, we're just going to be downsizing because of the pandemic and all this. But it's like, I saw it as an opportunity to diversify and to not just always have the same kind of income, and try to set up passive income. So that's what I've been working on. But like, that's the thing, nothing's set in stone. So be open. Don't always look for like the dark and the downside, because things can be blessings in disguise. Like, when I got free of the toxic group and the narcissist, there was a lot of pain and grief and processing and turmoil and conflict and drama and all that from them. And I had to process it, but like, on the other side of it, after I was able to process it and like get hindsight, I could see that it was better for me. It was a blessing in disguise to be forcibly ejected from that group the way it did, because like, I saw who they really were. They weren't deceiving me anymore, And so even though it can be a hot mess, things are working out in your best, highest outcome. The universe has your back, okay? Uh-huh. Adjustments are required. That's the thing. The universe wants us to make adjustments so we can get in alignment. We can resonate with our true being, our true energy, because like with all the self-sabotaging and those unhealthy coping mechanisms and those attachments, whether to people, places, or things, habits, whatever, that aren't actually serving us, they're unhealthy. Whether it be, like with my brother and the alcoholism, or, people in their shopaholic, habits, or being a workaholic, or, just binging TV all the time, or whatever it is, adjust so you can have this higher, better life to come in. Because if you're not a match, how is it going to be able to come in? If you're not open to it, if you're not having the eyes to see and the ears to hear, how are you going to see the signs and notice, like, oh, opportunity, I should take that? It's sort of like with my brother in the dream, he was trying to force it his way, and he just ended up breaking the whole thing. And it's just like, somehow he was convinced that that's how it was going to work, though. Like, that was the solution. And I'm just over here scratching my head like, you really thought that? But, like, to be honest, I'll look at so many people in my life and I'll think that, I'm like, you really think that's going to work? Like, they'll gaslight and they'll scream and they'll belittle and they'll just, like, do smear campaigns and they'll lash out and project and, like, assume and just complain about things and not actually do anything to help themselves and make themselves the victim and all these things. I'm like, you really think this is going to help your life get better and make it easier? Like, really? But a lot of the people that I've come across in my life don't want to make the adjustments, don't want to take accountability or self-responsibility for the life they've led, the choices they made. You reap what you sow. They don't want to look inward, to process their feelings, to look at their past hurts, to reflect, to have that introspection, to have that integrity and strength and character to make the changes. They'd rather just run away from their feelings, their past, their trauma, who they truly are, and, project and pretend and sidestep and sweep things under the rug. And it's just like, you can't really run away from yourself, though, or your past or your emotions. They're always with you. It's like your shadow. It's there. And so we need to make some adjustments, because we can't live our best life if we're not willing to, make the adjustments and change things up and be flexible. Yeah, have faith in your dreams, waxing crescent moon, because so many people have given up. So many people have given up, and they'll try to get you to give up too, because if you still have, the faith in your dreams, the hope, that spark of vitality, that promise, that potential, it irritates them. And they'll be like, you are so unrealistic, you naive summer child. Like, no, that's not how the world works. It just sucks. You gotta suck it up. You're gonna be miserable. You gotta do the daily grind and go to this job you hate. And it's like, it's because they gave up on themselves and their dreams. And so they think you're being unreasonable, but look at the bigger picture. Nothing's set in stone yet, so that means you can have your dream life. The life you're currently living doesn't have to be your forever, But you'll have to make adjustments to make it so, but you can make it so. You can have that manifest as your reality. We have Siren's Call. Follow the call of your heart and let its melody guide you to your true purpose. That's the thing. So many people deny their heart and soul. So many people wall it up, close it up, lock it away, throw away the key, and never look back. They're just like, nope, can't go down that road. I tried it before and it was painful. And it's like, yeah, people can disappoint you. They can betray you. They can let you down. Things don't always work out. There can be mistakes, failures, setbacks, challenges, hurdles, all of that. But it's in you for a reason. The universe put it inside of you for a reason. It's not there just for no reason. Keep your faith in your dreams. Trust the process. Know that it's going to work out for you in the end. It may take some time, but plant those seeds, nurture those seeds, water them every day, and soon enough you'll be able to reap the harvest. And this story, what is it? The Little Red Hen? I think that's the story about the Little Red Hen was the one who was planting the seeds every day, literally planting the seeds, nurturing the seeds, watering the seeds, harvesting the wheat, turning it into flour, turning it into bread, baking the bread. And then the Little Red Hen had, reaped that harvest, was able to eat the delicious bread. But like all the animals never wanted to help. There's like, no, no, no. You go ahead. But then it's like, as soon as the Little Red Hen had the bread, there's like, oh, I want some. I'll help you eat it. I'll help. And it's just like, you reap what you sow. You sow nothing. You think you can come in and like snatch up my food that I worked so hard for? I planted these seeds. The energy I put out comes back to me. Look, I'm blessed because I put in the effort. And like, that's a lot of the people in my life. They just like want to come in, ride your coattails and snatch it up. And it's just like, it's not gonna work out that way. You need to adjust. Follow your heart. Keep showing up. Neptune's palace. Let the currents of divine guidance lead you to your true purpose. And that's the thing. The Little Red Hen, even though she didn't have bread right away, even though she couldn't see and taste and feel and smell the bread right away, she kept showing up, planting those seeds, tending those seeds, doing the work, taking the adjustments to make it happen. She looked at the bigger picture. It's like, okay, I don't have the bread now, but if I plant the seeds, I water them, I tend to them, I harvest them, turn into flour, I then make it into, dough and then put in the oven and then I'll have this bread to eat. But it's just like, so many people feel like they're afraid to do the work. They just want everything to come to them easily. And it's not to say that everything has to be hard, but it's a lot more easier when you're going with the flow, when you're working with the universe instead of fighting against it, trying to force your way. Like what happened in my dream when my brother was trying to force that crumbled up, wadded up ball of paper into the gears of the printer. It's like, print, do it. This is going to work. It's like, you're not going with the flow. You're not listening to divine guidance. Like, you're trying to force your will, your ideas, and it doesn't work that way. The universe isn't having it, And so we got to be open. We got to be flexible. We got to be adaptable. We got to have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, because if we try to force things like that, it's going to blow up in our face and things could fall apart. They could break, like with the printer, it was broken in the dream. And so it's like that happens to us with so many things because we try to force things, because we're fighting the flow. We're churning our metaphorical boat around and paddling upstream. And a lot of times it's because we're running away from ourselves, We don't want to do the inner work. See which is lair. Confront the shadows within and let the alchemy of your soul transform darkness and light. That's the thing. People don't want to look at their dark. They don't want to look at the shadow. They don't want to look at the past, the hurt, the feelings. They want to sidestep. They want to sweep things under the wrong rug. They want to pretend. They want to slap on a mask and be like, good vibes only, hooray. And it's like, that's not going to work. You have to actually look at it. You actually have to sit with it, to feel it, to make space for it, to allow it to be, to process. You can't just be like, okay, done, like bottling it up and trying to shove it down. It's like, that's not going to work. You have to actually look at the darkness. And honestly, like with my family, the alcoholism is probably a lot of escapism and not want to deal with the darkness, the shadows, And if my family could be open and honest and they actually look at it instead of trying to, escape and cope with unhealthy coping mechanisms like alcohol, they'd probably be a lot happier. That's not to say that life would necessarily be easy all the time or everything would go to their preferences, but they're in this negative mindset and they're trying to escape and cope and run away and numb out. And it's not like I'm judging them and saying they're terrible people, but there's so much potential when you actually are able to transform, transmute, and heal, to process, to feel, to not judge yourself and label emotions as good or bad. There's preferred emotions and not preferred emotions, preferred experiences and not preferred experiences, but the human experience, the human journey, life has both. And so you can't deny yourself. You need to allow yourself to be human and allow yourself to feel. And honestly, that also seems to be what the issue is with that other person and with the whole delusion, denial, reality warping thing that she has going on. She doesn't want to let go. She keeps trying to force things. There's a lot of hurt with this one guy, and she has not let that go, and it's been years, and it's very unhealthy, and she's just like has this fixed mindset, and she's not willing to process the emotions, and she's been sidestepping it, and it's like skewing and like contorting all the things, and it's resulting in all this self-sabotage. And so it's like you gotta be able to look at the dark within you. It's the yin and yang. We have both inside of us. That doesn't make us evil. That doesn't make us monsters or horrible or anything like that. It's just a part of being human. And it can be really hard because we want to rush through things, have that instant gratification, have those instantaneous results. But it takes time. It's like planting seeds. The seeds don't grow overnight, you know? Yeah, sea turtles. Navigate life's challenges with patience and grace, trusting that slow and steady progress leads to success. It's like the little red hen. She didn't have bread instantaneously. She put in the work and made slow and steady progress. She had patience. All the animals around her wanted that instantaneous gratification. They didn't want to do the work. They just wanted to have it now. Just like, hand me the bread now. I want to eat it. But it's like, we gotta take things step by step, bit by bit. And yeah, when we're processing our emotions and we're healing and we're learning and we're growing and we're improving, it's going to take time. It's not going to happen all overnight. It's not. And so be willing to sit with yourself and allow yourself to be. Don't judge yourself and criticize yourself and shame and guilt yourself. That's what my family especially is notorious for. And they'll start doing that to other people. They'll be lashing at other people, projecting onto them when they don't have the patience to sit with themselves. They want things to happen instantaneously. And honestly, like the whole thing with my dream, it makes me think of my mom, because if something doesn't happen right with like electronics or computers and all that right away, she'll start slamming the mouse down, banging on the desk, stomping her feet, screaming and cursing. And it's just like, we gotta have patience. It's not always gonna go the way we want. That doesn't mean that it's not working out in our highest favor. The universe could be showing us something, but we got to have patience, and we got to try to have grace with ourselves and other people and life in general, you know? Yeah, feel and release. Release all you've accumulated on this journey, and that's what I've been working on. Attachments and the need for things to be a certain way. And that's not to say you can't have preferences, but like what happened with family drama, it happened with the toxic group, the narcissist, you know, it happened with that former friend who blew up on me over being an accountability partner and telling her the truth, even though I was being as gentle, loving, and kind as I could be and respectful. Like, I have released my need for it to be certain ways. I've decided I'm going to let people do them, and I will prioritize my needs, and if they're being all chaotic and you know, creating all this drama and chaos and there being energy drains, I can walk away. That doesn't mean I have to walk away forever. Like with my former friend, it's like I opened it up and I was like, here's what's been going on. Here's what I have problems with. I don't think you're a horrible person. This is what we need to work on if we want to make this work and all these things. And she said she would get back to me. It's been 2 months. And so she's like, yeah, I feel like you don't want to. So it's like, you know what? That's fine. I'm not one to just throw away relationships, but I'm not going to be the one watering and nurturing this if it's just going to be one-sided. That's too much of an energy drain. And so I've been releasing a lot of that. And like so many people be like, oh, I want to live in this area or that area. And it's like, I just have released attachment. Like I will go wherever the wind takes me. I know that I am, like for several years now, I've been feeling like I'm supposed to move. I just don't know where yet. I don't feel like a pull or a draw to anywhere. I kind of feel like I don't belong in this world because all this drama. I will find my place, I know, but it's just like I am feeling what I'm feeling, allow myself to process and to release, to not have to force things to be a certain way or try to control the outcome, control the results, try to coerce things. Like, I am long since past that. Like, growing up, I had this perfectionism in me because of my family, because that's how they were, and like it has to be a certain way, and like no matter how much I stayed within the lines, I was still wrong. So it's like that was the whole thing. But you don't have to take it all with you. Like, if people are going to be nasty to you and disrespectful and drain you and all that, you can walk away. I've been doing that. Walked away from that toxic group and the narcissist. Haven't been communicating with my aunts because they haven't tried to make amends. I'm not being bitter, resentful, or vengeance, or like anything like that. I'm not hateful. I'm open to patching things up. But the other party has to have mutual effort. If they're not even going to bother, it's like, well, I'm not going to bother. I'm going to match your energy. You can't be bothered to try to make amends, to apologize, to try to improve and heal this wound, this, chasm. Okay, I won't bother either. I'll be putting my energy, time, and attention elsewhere that'll serve me. Because this is just an energy drain. It's not that I hate you. I still wish you the best. I hope that you have a healthy, loving, happy life. But I'm just not going to be here for all this nonsense and this drama and this conflict and chaos. Like, no thanks. I released that. I may have grown up in that with my family and like all the peers and all that around me, but I'm not for that. Remember, love is the key. Love what you have in your life right now. And that's what I've been doing. Like, I'm not where I want to be right now, but I do have a certain level of flexibility because honestly, for as long as I can remember, I have wanted to have a family of my own. I wanted a loving, supportive partner and children, and it hasn't happened for me yet. And my best friend, she has 2 children and has another one on the way. And so it's like, not that I resent her for it or anything. I'm happy for her, but it's like part of that, like, just strokes the inner longing. Like, I've been wanting this for like as long as I can remember. And it's just kind of ironic because she's like, oh yeah, I never really thought I would have kids. And now she's going to have 3. But like, I am loving where I'm at in the sense of, sure, there could be stuff going on with my aunt's dog and how he's out in the rain for the wee hours of the night and all that. But it's also peaceful and calm here. I have the place to myself. I'm not surrounded with the drama of my family and that kind of thing. So it's just like, yeah. Or like how, I'm not really having that many people in my circle right now. Just my best friend, really, because there's just been so many people being toxic and draining and choosing all these hurtful, disrespectful choices. And it's like, okay, yeah, I do get lonely, but it's like I also have all this more time to invest in myself, to be working on these creative projects. And so this is what the universe is saying, like, hey, make the most of the hand you've been dealt. Make the most of it. Doesn't mean you have to enjoy every little thing. It doesn't mean everything's to your preference, but find reasons to be grateful and appreciative for what you have now. Find ways to be in love with your life right now. Find ways to enjoy it, to have fun. Because life is what you make it. Life is what you make it. So make it something that you can savor, Trust in your new path. All will work out for you. That's the thing. That's why the universe wants you to look at the bigger picture and realize it's not set in stone right now. You won't be in this life forever. I won't be living in my family's house forever, dealing with all their drama. It's a temporary thing, Adjustments need to be made. I've been trying to work on getting this passive income so, I don't have to work in all these jobs that they keep trying to get me into. And it's just like I'm slaving away in all these jobs that they want me to work at. And it's like I just can't do it. And so it's like I know that all's going to work out for me. I know that somehow, some way, someday I'm going to find that life partner who is going to have the same kinds of values and priorities as me, who will put in the same amount of care and time and effort and love and support and nurturing, all those things that I do for other people. They're going to match my energy. We're going to be able to have that loving family. I may not have it now, but it's like with the little red hen and the bread. Like, you have to make the steps. You have to work on yourself so you can be the best version of yourself and attract the right people. having patience and knowing that it is going to work out for you. Feel and release it all, guys. Feel and release it all. And yeah, be authentic. Your way is the only way for you. I can't be my family. They may be able to, do that traditional job in places that they hate, and like they can't stand the company or their coworkers and they're constantly complaining about. That may work for them. And how they like veg out with TV and they cope with alcohol and games and all these things. That may work for them. It doesn't work for me. And so I'm going to let them do them. And I'm going to do me. Your way is the only way for you. So don't get caught up in what everybody else is doing. Even if no one else is doing what you're doing, that's okay. Be authentic and real. Stay true to you. Stay true to you. We have courage. Courage lies within you. You have the power to overcome anything. And the universe is really saying, have the courage to be the real you, to shine your true colors, to step into your power, to, have faith in your dreams, to pursue them, to feel and release, to sit with those uncomfortable emotions, to acknowledge and process and make space for your shadow. Because a lot of times, things like our shadow, they become bigger and have more power and grow stronger because we are scared of them, we're insecure about them, we're fighting against them and resisting them, and the more you run away from it, the bigger it's going to get. Like, I don't know if you ever watched VeggieTales. Like, my brother, he had this VHS tape of Larry Boy, and he would watch the one with the fib all the time. And this fib, it just kept growing bigger and bigger and bigger. It was like a monster alien. And like every time the kid Junior lied, it would grow bigger and stronger because they were running away from the truth. They were resisting the truth. They were scared about the truth coming out. And so it just grew more and more powerful. It got stronger and stronger and stronger. And so that's what happens with our feelings and our shadows and our past traumas. When we resist it, when we fight against it, when we're running away from it and sidestepping and trying to bury it and push it down, it builds pressure and it gets stronger. And so the universe is saying, hey, have the courage to face it. Have the courage to sit with yourself, to make space, to make peace. Because that's how you're going to be able to set yourself free and live your dream life. To, walk this new path. To be able to make the adjustments required. But we have to have the courage to face it because so many of us are trying to run away. But when we have the courage to do that, it unlocks all this understanding. Understanding is the key to deep connections with yourself, with the universe, with other people. And so tapping into your true heart, making space for all your emotions is going to be the key. It's going to lock the door of all these new opportunities and new growth. Growth is a journey. Trust each step. Have patience as you navigate life. Trusting that you're going to make progress, that you're growing. You're that seed that's planted. Maybe you're not the tree full of fruit to harvest yet, but you will reap what you sow. The energy you put out comes back to you. So if you're showing up and nurturing yourself every day and watering yourself and making sure that these seeds are planted, you will have the growth. You will be fruitful. You don't have to worry about it. It is going to work out for you, I promise. Yep, chickadee, the time is right to release old patterns and energies. You are ready to embrace change, and change can be scary. It's unfamiliar. You can get insecure. You can have doubts. Your confidence can waver because you don't know how it's going to play out. You don't have all the answers. You don't have it all together because you're like, I am growing, I'm learning, I'm improving, and this is freaking me out because I'm going into the unknown. But you can't stay in your comfort zone. You can't stay in the familiar because for a lot of us, the familiar, the known, is all this unhealthy coping mechanisms, all these unhealthy, toxic, self-sabotaging patterns and cycles and habits. And it's not serving us. It's not aligning us with our best life. And the thing is, the saying, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. That's the kind of stuff my family does. And I can see they're all so grown and They're not getting anywhere. They're going through the same loops, the same cycles, the same habits, the same patterns, and it's going around and around and around and around. That's why the universe is saying, hey, it's time to release. It's time to release. Feel what you need to feel and release it. New rhythms are coming into your life now. You are encouraged to trust and adapt. That's the thing. Trust, adapt, have patience, allow growth, have courage to go for it. Keep the faith alive in your dreams. Adjustments are required, but it will work out for you. So take each step with love. Create space, allow yourself to feel and to process and to be with love, with grace, with compassion. It's all coming together for you, but you gotta trust. Canary, step forward now and sing your song. There is power in finding your voice. The universe is wanting you to be authentic, to walk your true path, to be who you really are, and to shed the old, all those limiting beliefs, those negative narratives, old unhelpful habits, those unhealthy coping mechanisms. The universe wants you to shed that old one, like the snake, shed that old skin so you can grow into your new true being, to sing your true song of your soul. Step forward. Have the courage, because it's all coming together for you, and it's going to be so beautiful if you can do that. If you can feel and release, if you can have faith, if you can make the adjustments, if you can look at the bigger picture, if you can keep growing and understanding, and releasing. Carriage, a journey, either physical or mental. And this is the universe saying, hey, you are undergoing this big journey right now, but you're going to have so much growth and understanding and just like change and just like stepping into this best version of yourself by going through it. Not avoiding it, not trying to take detours around it or cut corners or anything, by going through it, by going on that journey, by taking those steps and having the courage to face it all. It's not always going to be easy, but looking at the bigger picture, you see how it's worth it. How these adjustments are very much necessary. Yeah, moon, changes in your life. Some big changes, and some of them are minor, but even the minor ones will add up. Because like with me, I've been working on, coloring sheets and like working on cards and guides and, picture books and all that little by little each day, and it's adding up. So it doesn't always have to be these grand big changes all at once. Mule, someone is extremely stubborn and unwilling to change. That very much feels like all these people in my life that I'm not so connected to right now because I've been creating space, but like family, past friends, past, relationships in terms of romance, coworkers, bosses, peers, teachers, you name it. They get so stubborn and try to force things, and they try to, coerce the universe to bend to their will, and they're unwilling to change and adapt and be flexible, and so it blows up in their faces. But the universe is saying, hey, you don't need to do that. You don't need to be like that. You can make the adjustments. You can choose to release, to grow, to let in all the new. And yeah, hills, obstacles to overcome. This journey could be very long. It could be something you've been working on your whole life. Like, I feel like that's been my process. I've been working on this whole time. And each time I think, okay, I might be done now. I was like, no. You didn't look deep enough. There's more to uncover here and to unpack. And it's like, okay, that's what we're doing now. Okay, keep growing. Keep doing, because you can overcome it. That's why the universe is wanting you to have patience, to have faith in your dreams, because you can overcome it. Yeah, unicorn. Use your intuition to make beneficial changes. And if I had stayed my former self, I would have gone back to, the traditional job and like, this is what I have to do. It's more secure, more stable, even though it's not, because they can drop you like, just not even a second thought. Happened with me with the pandemic, with multiple jobs that I was working at the same time because I was trying to make ends meet, and like the whole fear is false evidence appearing real, and all these people like telling you they know best, and it's like, they don't know. They're just trying to give the illusion that they know what's what, and all the, like, not to say they don't know anything, but people are like, they pretend a lot and try to act like they have it all together and they have all the answers. No one knows it all, okay? We're all human trying to figure this thing out. But if we tap into our intuition, which is the connection to the divine, so we can get in alignment and resonate and take that inspired aligned action, it's going to make all this beneficial change. It's going to help us overcome these obstacles, you know? Yeah, and it's going to lead to a treasure trove box. You will receive a gift. And sometimes the gift is just you, your true self, not you weighed down by all your unhealthy coping mechanisms, all these toxic relationships, all these negative narratives, all these layers of all these toxic loops and patterns and habits. Like, you're shedding the old and becoming this best, brightest version of yourself. But also you can have gifts of like blessings in terms of prosperity, wealth, happiness, joy, peace, relationships that are more in alignment with who you really are instead of a lot of these unhealthy dynamics that a lot of relationships go through. Like, it could be your dream home. It could be, creating a family, getting a new pet. Like, there's so many different ways these gifts can show up, but we got to have the courage to move forward and take these steps, because otherwise it's not going to be able to come in. We won't have space for it. But yeah, in the end, the universe wants you to know you are the star. You will shine bright and you are guaranteed success. So it is going to work out for you. Even if it seems shaky and questionable ground, and you don't know how it's all going to come together, and it doesn't seem like results are happening yet, go back to the story of the little red hen. Like, how long did it take the little red hen to get that bread? Keep showing up for yourself. Stay dedicated and committed to yourself. Fill up your own cup. Tend to yourself and your needs, and allow yourself to feel and to process and to grieve and to work through your emotions instead of running away from them, because it's going to help you shine bright. You are going to be a beacon for all those around you. You get to choose how you show up in this world, the path you walk. So make it one that you enjoy. And give yourself grace and patience and love and compassion and gentleness, because you are doing so much work. So much work. This was a big one, but I'm sending you all so much love. Please take care. Like, if you ever need someone to listen, I'm here. I'm here. I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.